In the mid to late 90s, the journey getting to Halloween H20 was a long one. After it became clear that Daniel Farron's Halloween Lord of the Dead movie was not going to happen, and Robert Zappia's script of Halloween Two Faces of Evil was not going to be the way the franchise went forward, Kevin Williamson was hired to give a treatment for the continuation of the Halloween franchise. Now, what some may not know, Williamson's original idea wasn't that far off from what we ended up getting. But the first draft of Kevin Williamson's Halloween 7 pitch had some major changes. That draft was called Halloween 7, The Revenge of Laurie Strode. Now, it would have been basically the same as we saw in the first act of Halloween H20. We open up with Marion Chambers. We have Laurie Strode hiding out as the headmistress of a private school in California, going by the name Carrie Tate. Michael Myers eventually tracks her down to finish what he started. But the big changes in this script would have made probably a lot of fans happy, while a lot of casual moviegoers scratching their heads. See, the big changes in this script were as follows. The intent was to keep Halloweens 1 through 6 in canon. Now, obviously, Halloween 3 being the outsider there, but you know what I mean. The idea was to say that Laurie Strode did in fact fake her death in Halloween 4 and go into hiding, but they were going to acknowledge Jamie Lloyd's existence and all the murders that took place over those few Halloweens before 1998. The way the story went was that during a class, Laurie was going to have a student doing a book presentation on the events of the previous 3 movies that would have informed Laurie that her estranged daughter, Jamie Lloyd, had been killed by Michael Myers in 1995. Now, this would have led to Laurie breaking down and having to leave the classroom, and I believe even throwing up. So what a lot of fans would have wanted would not only be keeping those films in canon, but confirming that this was Laurie's daughter and that Laurie would get the realization that her daughter that she tried to run away from to save ended up succumbing to Michael Myers. That was a big point in this story because it was really going to affect Laurie's character arc here. See, yes, she has her son John and she is in hiding and is basically leading a new life 20 years later. But that life that she left behind would have actually been weighing far heavier on her. That would have been really interesting to see the character of Laurie Strode have to deal with that on top of everything else. Now, obviously, we know that got dropped from the script when they finally went into production because it just seemed easier for the filmmakers to break ties with all of those sequels that had middling to subpar results at best. Another big point of the original idea for Halloween H20 was that there was going to be an entire subplot about the Haddonfield Police Department tracking down Michael Myers to California. See, murders start popping up again. There's belief that Michael Myers is still here, and oh my gosh, what's he after? Where's he headed? The Haddonfield Police Department was going to be tracking him. This would have led to a much gnarlier Halloween H20, higher body count, more gore, and that's something that, honestly, in hindsight, I probably would have liked to have seen. I like Halloween H20 for what it is, but let's be honest here. It is not exactly aging as well because it heavily borrowed from Scream. The last major difference in this script was the ending. See, the climax was going to take place at a pool. Now, in Halloween H20, if you guys don't know this, that's actually where they filmed the finale of Scream 3, and you see a pool in the center courtyard there. That was there in Halloween H20 as well, but it was covered. Same location. I'm assuming maybe that would have been the pool. Basically, this confrontation was going to have Michael pleading for his life to Laurie. I would assume that means he is verbalizing. And then Laurie was going to impale him with a javelin. And that was going to be the end of the film. Not a huge fan of that. I like the fact that Laurie Strode would have gotten the final say in this decades-long fight against Michael Myers, which she ended up getting in Halloween H20 as well until Resurrection came out and retconned all of that. But I don't like the idea of Michael Myers pleading for his life. I just feel like making Michael Myers talk is never the right way to go. It's why I prefer Rob Zombie's theatrical cut of Halloween 2, because I just do not agree. There are certain rules that shouldn't be broken in certain franchises, and I believe that is one in the Halloween franchise that should never be broken. Now, with all movies, this script went through rewrites and they ended up on what they got with Halloween H20. The belief always was that Jamie Lee Curtis was going to come back, so credit goes to Kevin Williamson for really wanting to make a truly anniversary type movie. He wanted to bring the original players back. He wanted to give the studio, the actors, the filmmakers, something they could feel like proud of, that this could actually turn out to be a good movie. And Halloween H20 did. A lot of fans loved the movie. It made good money and it got decent reviews at the box office, so they succeeded in that. But some of these major differences that were in the original treatment for the seventh Halloween installment could have ended up giving us a very different movie and maybe changed the trajectory of the franchise as a whole. But I want to know what you guys think of Halloween 7, The Revenge of Laurie Strode. Although it is mostly Halloween H20, there are some major differences that, again, could have changed everything. Did you want to see this? If so, why? If not, why? But all in all, I'd say it's a good thing we didn't see Michael cowering and crying like a little baby.